Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of you. My name is Rob Douglas. I'm the founder and CEO of BioConnect. And I will say to you, this is a very special moment in time because we get the chance to go back to ISC West. As many of you know, we've been unable to do that now for several years. And I must say, it feels so good to be able to go back to ISC West, to reconnect with our partners, reconnect with our customers, and meet new customers and new partners through the course of the show. So we look forward to seeing you. And for those who can't meet in person, we are creating this digital experience for you so that you can benefit from the content from the comforts of your own home as well. So just a couple of comments I'd like to make is, the mission of BioConnect. So BioConnect is really enabling trust in the connected world. And it simply just means this. I think the thing that we do really well is when the world is changing ever so quickly and people have a higher need to have security around access to doors or to server cabinets or to key cabinets or narcotics cabinets or your autonomous vehicle, whatever you want to have access to in a world that's just constantly evolving. How do you provide that high level of trust and assurance of identity to get access to any of those important things? And this is the area that we do quite well at. So think of it this way. Look at the velocity of change going on around us. In fact, for those of you in the access control world, how did it all begin? It all began with this card. We tap a card to get in. And this is really fundamentally now over. I've been saying this for quite some time, but I think it's really real now because this is a static moment in time of a piece of plastic touching something to decide whether I'm going to let this person in, which may or may not be me. And worse than that, of course, as the threats are changing, how you adapt to authentication needs to change. So let's just go off the top of a couple of big changes. Okay, so we've got work from home, we've got work from the office, we've got hybrid. Who's coming in today? Are people coming in 5 days a week, 1 day a week? So the frequency and how people interact with a facility has changed, gone upside down. So that change creates a different risk for the organization. Cyber attacks, of course, continue to be a problem, and in the physical security space is an area of great focus. So that's a change that's constantly happening. Then you got regulatory changes. All right, well, people getting access into this area of an airport need to have passed this certification in order to get access to this sensitive area. Well, how do I link in whether they've actually completed that certification as part of the decision of whether I'm going to let you in? It's called policy-based access control, which we'll talk more about during the course of the show in our partnership with Alert Enterprises. Another one is data is being created at an exceptional rate. So now you're dealing with higher security issues around protecting data, protecting narcotics. In the US, the opioid crisis is just redlining, and so many people are dying because of getting access, unauthorized access to drugs that are killing people. And so how do I get higher levels of security when that change is happening? And if that isn't enough for you, let's just talk about the next one. It's technology. Technology is constantly changing. So if we're used to a world like this, that we've been using cards for decades, and now you've got a mobile device, how are we going to create a world where people can actually sunset this and move to this while maintaining trust in the process? So now you've got technology innovation, you've got user understanding of what they expect an access experience to be like. That's changing. And so you add all of this up, and this is where BioConnect shines. We shine in a world where all of these elements I've described are constantly changing, and therefore your adaptive authentication you use to get access to doors, server cabinets, narcotics cabinets, key cabinets, or any other area like an autonomous vehicle that you want to have access to, our platform does really an exceptional job for that. Why do we attend? It's the most important thing we do in the year. Without question. We call it the Super Bowl of physical security. And we mean that. We believe it's our responsibility to come and contribute, to interact with our customers, interact with our partner ecosystem, and get better. And at the same time, showcase the latest technologies that we've released to market. I'd like to introduce you to Courtney Gibson. Courtney is our CTO and is also our Chief Information Security Officer. He has a very unique capability of large scale systems that are in highly compliant environments where privacy of information is critical. Being compliant with large scale systems is critical. And at the same time, he also has a very deep understanding of everything associated with access control itself. So please join me in welcoming Courtney to our session today.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you to everybody who's attending, whether we have a chance to meet with you in person at ISC or digitally connect up with you. This is an exciting time for us to look around the industry and see what's changing and tell some of the story of what we've been working on over the last couple of years since we've had a chance to get together at ISC. There's been a couple of big changes that we are tracking in the industry over the last couple of years. A number of them are changes that are happening inside organizations as we talk to our customers and hear about the challenges they're seeing. And some of the other changes are ones that are happening outside of the organizations around regulatory changes, and those are having some impacts as well. Inside our customers' organizations, we're hearing about a number of shifts. One of the big ones is that really everyone is now becoming a visitor, and it has to do with how hybrid work is changing, how people are getting access to spaces, and it's having a couple of real impacts on access control technology. Boundaries of access control are moving closer to the sidewalk, and in response to that, we've been spending a lot of time looking at how BioConnect can adapt our technology to help retrofit systems that are in place today to bring higher security closer to those points of entry that businesses are trying to control. As that entry is happening, we're finding more and more opportunity to create two-way flows of conversation with people coming into businesses. It started for us with things like COVID surveys, wellness surveys around whether you are in a position to be accessing this space. It's expanded as we've partnered, as Rob mentioned, with folks like Alert Enterprises to look at how we can have stronger policy-based access control. And as our customers' compliance needs have been going up, those two-way conversations are creating unique opportunities for us to provide additional compliance controls for our customers, helping to understand why people are accessing certain spaces, whether this is appropriate, and how to create a good audit record of what's happening inside your organization. All of those things are pushing forward ideas and changes as we look to approach some of the shifting need in the market as we go forward. One of the other trends that we're seeing is the need to provide more service with fewer people and help stretch security budgets, to find ways to add force multipliers onto your security teams. And in response to that, we've been spending a lot of time talking to our customers about how to create those force multipliers. How do we put security into small spaces to allow automated coverage of some critical infrastructure without requiring people to be physically present to help with that? How do we increase the security of buildings at various points in time dynamically so that there's higher security of people getting in and that a security person can cover more square footage or more buildings just as effectively as they were able to before? And the people themselves who are coming into our organizations have just spent 2 years at home, in many cases, self-sufficient, self-serving their way through, and the expectations of that are continuing as they get back to work. And we're continuing to look at what digital tools we can put in place to reduce cost of ownership for enterprises, to increase self-sufficiency for employees, whether that is remote enrollment, whether it's using some new technologies like Slack or Teams for alerting to make your teams more productive and more responsive to security incidents. We're bringing a lot of digital technology into our access control in a way that enables those type of changes. Outside of the organization, we've seen a lot of change too. On the privacy front, there is a growing list of within the US, a growing number of states, outside of the US, a growing number of countries that are putting privacy restrictions and rules in place around the use of personal information, data offshoring, biometrics specifically as they apply to access control. And cybersecurity needs are growing as well at the same time. We've all seen increased threats in the last couple of years as more value has moved online, as more work has moved online, the risks of connected systems have gone up. And this isn't something that you can apply at the end of a product cycle, start to introduce privacy controls or cybersecurity controls. You really need to build those in from first principles. And our architecture, we spent a lot of time over the last couple of years working across the industry with our partners through SIA, through direct partnerships with other access control manufacturers that we work with, and looking in at our own system to see how we can do better and how we can support our customers in getting better privacy controls, better cybersecurity controls, and a better understanding of how to keep their systems safe that keep their people safe.
The areas that we're really showcasing, first and foremost, we built our platform from day one based on integration with the world's top access control systems. This has been a 12-year journey for us, and it is never ending. So why do we do it? The fundamental reason why we do it is to protect your investment. You've spent many years, lots of invested dollars in your access control systems, and we see ourselves as a Lego block to be snapped into your existing infrastructure, not replacing existing infrastructure. It's a big deal for you, and it's a big deal for us. So that's the reason why integrations, and we have integrations with access control systems, the top, all of the top ones. We have integrations into the top digital authenticators of companies like Duo and Okta and others. And we have integrations into other components that would live inside the enterprise. Again, all designed to protect your investment. And you can see them all there. The second area is around new innovation of technology. And you would see this in the area of what we have is our link technology. So a year ago, actually 2 years ago, first year of COVID, SIA recognized our link technology as the top emerging technology of 2020. You'll see the latest that we've got specifically in this. And this core IoT device that lives behind an access point is really the vehicle that can actually create connections to the internet, connect private connections to the internet, as well as secure ones to allow adaptive authentication and a much broader range of ways that we can authenticate people. The next area that you'll see is what we call BCID. It's the BioConnect identity application, which is actually a biometric specific mobile authentication platform. So for those of you who do not want to screw a biometric device onto the wall, but you'd rather take what you have existing there now and just do the face recognition off a secure channel on your mobile device, then that is a solution that would be very useful for you. The other area is policy-based access control. Our new partnership with Alert Enterprise we announced last fall. We'll talk about what those use cases look like for how do you integrate policies in the decision about whether we're going to allow this person access at this moment in time at this particular location. You'll see our small space solutions from a company that we acquired called MedicSafe, a market leader in the area of narcotic safes and how that fits into our platform. And I think maybe lastly, I'll leave it this way, is that what you're going to experience overall is the BioConnect Trust platform for physical access. I'm not aware of any other company in the marketplace that has actually brought together all of these authentication capabilities into one common platform that snaps into your existing infrastructure to give you the ability to adjust to the changing threats that you are experiencing and will continue to experience.
So glad to have the team at MedicSafe joining us both within BioConnect and also in the booth this year. MedicSafe has been, for the past 13 years, building safes that control access to narcotics for first responders. And this is a critical time for us to look at what we can do to advance solutions in this area. The last few years have created economic, social, mental pressures around COVID that have been accelerating a problem that's been growing for years. As an industry, work in this area is critical. We need to make sure that life-saving medications aren't turning into vehicles of harm for people who are in vulnerable situations right now. And it's a tough problem. We need to bring modern access control, high security, auditability, compliance, logging, alerting, centralized management into an access control product which is able to go into vehicles, work offline, work autonomously. And for us, this was really one of the exciting challenges as we look to bring MedicSafe on board. BioConnect has been working for over a decade at bringing identity and access control into new technologies and into new places that it had never been able to reach before. And what excites me about our MedicSafe solution is it really pushes forward what we had been able to do over the last couple of years into some new areas that have created new opportunities for us and for our customers. The MedicSafe solution starts with our integration into access control systems. For customers who have an access control system, we're able to automatically synchronize identities, credentials. All of the capabilities of your access control system can now extend out into this new mobile safe product. And for people who don't have access control systems, we have the ability to take proven access control technologies, proven access control credentials, and bring them into this system as well with easy self-serve options. Once this has been synchronized into the vehicle, the MedicSafe solution allows us in vehicle to provide the technology and your policies in a form that can go out offline and secure the people and the product that's inside these ambulances and fire trucks, police cars that need it so badly. Once the access control decisions have been made and the events have been logged, when the safes come back into the stations, they automatically connect back into your systems. They upload auditable logs, they resynchronize any identities, and they report back any alerts or incidents that occurred while the vehicle was out on the road. For us, this has pushed all of our access control technologies forward by a large margin over the last 6 months as we work to integrate MedicSafe systems into our product line and our product line into these new offerings. It's allowed us to create solutions that have extended the ability of access control to really reach anywhere, online or offline. It's allowed us to do it with security and compliance in the forefront, with privacy enhancing technologies to keep people's personal information safe, and has really allowed us to bring traditional access control into areas that before it simply hadn't been able to reach. We can do this really with wires cut and devices out in the field that can come back home and resynchronize when their job is done. And for us, this really moves the line forward quite a bit in terms of where we have been able to bring technology. And we're excited to continue this moving forward, to bring access control technologies to more offline locations, to be able to bring inventory tracking control into the product and tie it in as well. So we're excited with what we've been able to bring together already, and we're looking forward to continued innovation as we move forward with this product line.
So where is our industry headed? I think I want to begin by saying there are blessings that come from COVID. And one of the blessings in the physical security world is the pace of innovation has accelerated. I think if we thought of the next 5 or 10 years worth of innovation, that's all being pulled forward, and that we're going to be witnessing that probably in the next 1 to 3 years. So our industry has been historically slow to accept and adopt new technologies, and I think COVID has been the great accelerator. So whatever you could have imagined you thought we might see 5 years out, you're probably going to see it too. And this is probably true across the security area. Specifically for BioConnect, well, maybe one other comment about the future is that, as I said at the beginning, the risks to organizations, I think there's only one thing that's true, that change is accelerating. And with that continued acceleration of change is how can all of us adapt to this continuous onslaught of threat that may exist around our enterprise in the physical world. And so that focusing on how to attack those threats, I think will continue to be very important for all of us. I think the integration of the physical world to the digital world we're going to finally see that actually now happen. So whether I'm interacting with digital applications or I'm interacting with physical access events, it's going to be the same experience or a very similar experience. So I can see that now coming. And examples of that is in the digital world, we're used to behavioral biometrics being used to determine or confirm the identity of a person based on the behavior of how they're interacting with their computer or their phone. That is a great example of how behavioral technologies will find their way into physical access and is underway. In fact, we have a project underway just in this area, but I think we're going to learn a lot, take advantage of a lot in the digital world and bring it to the physical world. I think the opportunities for our industry to solve trust-related problems has never been more at the forefront, and I am very excited about the future And I'm delighted that we're on the back end or the rearview mirror of this last couple of years through the pandemic.